Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to focus on application because as a beginner, it's really kind of hard to master your application, trying to deal with different products with their consistency. If you use too much monomer, you're going to be chasing your bead all over the place. If you don't use enough, it's going to dry too quickly and then you're just going to have a big old blob. Sorry guys, that's a little scratchy, but so as you can see, I got like a smaller bead. I like to work in two sections. Sometimes I'll just grab a whole bead, just depending on what acrylic I'm using. And for this one, I'm using Glam and Glitz, and my monomer is C&D. Sorry guys, my throat is really kind of So when you saw me, I was kind of like patting it. You want to be very gentle because when your acrylic is wet, if you put too much if you apply too much pressure, you're just going to move that bead from wherever you placed it. And that's not kind of what you want. So as you saw, I'm being very like patting it, and then slowly but surely bringing it towards the free edge. When you work around the cuticle, you want to make sure that your bead is a little drier because you don't want it running and flooding the cuticle, because that will cause lifting. And as you can see, I'm just making sure that I'm paying attention to that cuticle area. Just make sure your brush is a little wet. You don't want it too wet because it'll cause the acrylic just to go everywhere. I will be linking everything in the description box below. If you are new here, please subscribe. If you do like this video, please like it, so I know if to make more videos like this, because I saw that a lot of people were liking the pedicure one, so I will be doing another pedicure one as well. So as you can see, I go in, I usually use 2 beads, like I said, and I'm just making sure that it's just running down. I like to have the client's nail leaning down so that way it just kind of flows with it and I'm not chasing the acrylic. And as you can see, it started sticking to my brush, so I just needed to wet my brush a little bit. If it's getting caught in your brush, it's time to replace the brush. That was one of the issues that I was having problems with as a beginner, is it was getting stuck in my brush. When you're trying to clean your brush through the whole nail set, it's just going to take you even longer. When you sorry guys, my throat. So if you continue to replace your brush, depending on how often you use it, you won't have any issues with the acrylic sticking in the brush. So now I'm going to go in with a smaller bead for the cuticle, and as you can see, I took out the excess monomer, so that way I need it to be a little bit drier. And you see how I want to hold the acrylic there? When you hold it, it allows it for the brush to soak up most of the monomer, so that way your bead is a little bit drier because you're letting it sit there for a little bit. And then as you can see, I'm just slowly pulling and then trying to I want to wet my brush again, and then slowly just bring it, make sure I shape it, because if you do this part right, when you go into file, you're not going to be filing very long. So as you can see, I have some issues right there, just flooded a little bit. And then I'm going to go in and add a little bit to that little part of the cuticle where it didn't fully go through. And then when you put those 2 beads, you want to make sure that you blend it. So if you don't blend it very well, Sometimes what happens is the acrylic will be two different colors, especially when you're filing. So you want to you want to make sure if you didn't blend it very well, grab another smaller bead. And as you can see, that little bead was a little too wet, and so I'm trying to bring it down to smooth everything out. And again, you want to take your time. If you're not the fastest person, then that's fine. Just do let your clients know, hey, I'm not that fast, because a lot of clients want to get in and out. Now, I am working with a size 18 brush. Me personally, that's what I like to use for nails. I find it a lot easier, but it did take me a long time to get to a size 18. I started at a 8, a 10, a 12, and then I just jumped to a 16 or an 18 because that's all they had at my nail supply store. And I actually really do like this brush. So as you can see, I always work in 2 beads. Sometimes the bead that the first bead I get is maybe not enough, so then again I have to do 3 beads. And as you saw, it was kind of sticking to my brush, so I went in and dipped it into the monomer again, and I'm just slowly bringing it down to the tip, making sure we do keep that shape of the nail, because if you don't, it is going to be, you're going to be filing a lot more. So again, I dip my brush in the monomer, pick up the acrylic. Sometimes I do get like little things in there, so I try to take them out before I put them on the client's nail. And then I get the excess liquid out of there, because we are working on the cuticle area, and I kind of want to hold the bead there for a little bit, just to make sure it's not going everywhere. You don't want to be chasing it. Man, oh man. Sometimes I do make the mistake, and having a wetter bead, you do have to just sit there and just chase the damn thing, and it's not fun. It takes a lot of work, and then all the acrylic that you've just put on there is now wasted because it's not where you need it, and then you got a weird shape now. So I want to keep bringing it. I want to tuck. You see how I'm trying to tuck the cuticle, because again, I don't want any on the skin that will cause lifting. And then I'm just trying to smooth it out and bring most of it to the tip. That way, if I have any extra, I can just take it off from the tip. Now, depending on what kind of acrylic you're using and what kind of monomer you're using will depend on how fast everything dries. I'm using, like I said, Glam and Glitz. So it's not really like a speed one, not like Young Nails or anything like that. So it, just depending. Some of the Glam and Glitz do dry a little bit faster. Some of them dry really, really slow. So as you can see, I'm just making sure that it's not going anywhere. And then that it's wet enough for me to manipulate and move where I need it to be. I think this one I did grab a little bit too much for this nail. So yeah, I did. So as you can see, it's already trying to stick to the brush. So I'm going to wet the brush, and then I'm going to pull down. Now this is real time. I did not speed this up because I wanted y'all to see how I actually do the application, because that is the point of this video. So as you can see, I'm pulling it down towards the tip of the nail. And sometimes that does happen. I try not to waste acrylic, and so as you can see, I'm trying to find the edge to pull it down. It's not really working for me, and that's okay, like how I have that, because now look, you could just, as long as it's still wet, you can still manipulate it and you can still move it to where you need it to be. And so as you can see, I'm trying to cut it off. It's not wanting to cooperate with me. Sorry guys, told you my throat is a little scratchy. So you can see I'm really, really trying to take it off, but it's not working. So yeah, we're just gonna deal with this. I think I finally just end up giving up or whatever. and I'm like, ugh. And then I try to get that piece that's hanging, and it does not work. I'm like, ugh. So sometimes things don't work out really well, but you can go in with the file and get the rest of that. So yeah, it's like really not working. Finally get it. As you can see, that little corner is a little bit thicker than the other side, but it's okay, we can file that off. I was already done messing with it. So now, because of the amount that I have between what I've applied and the cuticle, it's very, very little. So I don't need that big of a bead, even though it is the thumb. So I go in with a smaller bead, and again, I'm going to hold it there, hold it, and then just start to pat and push into the cuticle area, because as you can see, look, it's starting to flood a little bit on the side, and then I'm just going to bring that down and then bring that down. And when I bring it down, sometimes I can apply a little bit more pressure because I don't need it to stay there. I just need it to just take it off, so that's fine. And then I'm going to go in and see how it flooded the cuticle a little bit. Go in there, clean that up. Make sure my shape is still good. Sorry, guys. And then just, make sure it's good. So then now I'm going to go and I'm going to work on the ring finger because we wanted some design, as you can see on my napkin. There's some hearts and stuff like that. So whenever you're working with glitter or things that are going to be encapsulated in the nail, you want to add a thin, clear acrylic layer. So that's what I'm going in with, and I'm just applying a thin amount. Gonna start putting those stickers on there. Now when you work with clear, if you work with, sorry guys, I have something stuck in my throat and it's bothering me. Now when you're working with clear acrylic and you want to do encapsulation, or you want to be able to see through the nail, if you work with a wetter bead, it's going to be clear. Like you're going to be able to see through it. You're not going to have any fogginess. So you want to make sure you work with a wet bead of acrylic. And as you can see, I'm fighting with this heart. I'm really, really trying to put everything in there. Now I'm going to use like I put some more clear acrylic just to make sure that those hearts don't move. And then I'm going to add some more, I'm going to add some loose glitter. And I'm just going in. I don't need too much. I don't need, just no rhyme or reason, just putting them on there. But as you can see, they do not want to cooperate. So, like, damn it. Okay. So then I'm going to go in with another thing of clear acrylic as well, because I'm going to use, or actually, you know what, I'm just going to go in with, yeah, I think I put some clear acrylic with the loose glitter. And I'm just going to go in with some blue iridescent glitter as well. And then I'm going to encapsulate it with clear acrylic. Now you can let it dry a little bit so that way your glitter is not moving when you put the clear acrylic to cap it. That's up to you. I didn't. I just went straight in, and because it really didn't matter if it moved. The big hearts are what I was worried about moving, and those had already dried by the time I got to the rest of the glitter. So as you can see, I'm trying to make sure that it does not flood the cuticle. And this one's going to be done in one bead. So like I said, just depending on the nail, how much acrylic I've kind of picked up, it will depend on where on the nail I decide to place the bead. So I'm just trying to make sure that it does not run off the sides, doesn't run into the cuticle. I'm still trying to pat to make sure it stays in the shape of the nail, because again, you do not want to be filing so much. Sorry guys. So now I'm just patting, making sure I keep that shape, pulling down towards the tip, tucking in my cuticles, making sure everything is still wet. So I'm going to, as you can see, I'm going to have a lot of acrylic left. So now I'm just going to try to take it off at the tip of the nail And again, it doesn't want to work out for me. So I am just, you know, trying. And then if things go underneath the nail, that's fine. You can always get a different bit and take it off from underneath. That's no problem. So I'm guessing, I guess you can't see it from the camera. I can't see it either right now, but I guess I was missing some in the little corner. And so I just want to make sure that there's no dips or grooves and stuff like that. So I'm just going in there. Now I'm going to shape. This is sped up. You don't want to spend too much time on one side. And you want to, I don't know if you can see, but I'm kind of holding down her pinky with my pointer underneath like that skin, so that way I don't cut her, because I use a new file with everybody, and so I want to make sure that I'm holding down the skin, that way I'm not going in there and cutting them, because if you do cut them, that's kind of a you don't want to be spreading things around. So I'm just not spending too much time on one side of the nail, you know, doing a couple of strokes on one side and then going to the other side and then filing on that side. And as you can see, I'm going in there with the nail file, and I'm kind of like loosening it up from the skins on the side, just in case I got some acrylic on the side. And so I do show you different angles just so you can see how I'm filing. You want to keep moving the client's nail around just so you can make sure you get that perfect shape. What also helps is prepping and shaping the nail before you apply the acrylic. That's going to save a lot of time as well. I know it may seem like, oh man, I got to file twice. Like, no, because at the end you're not filing so much when you apply your acrylic and you stay within those guidelines. So it's not, you're not going to be filing so much. So again, I got to work more on that edge, because remember I was telling you I could not get the extra acrylic off to save my life. Sorry guys. So I'm just filing, making sure, you know, I get nice crisp straight edges. Now I think I needed a little bit more on that one, so I just go in real fast and shape. I don't think I showed y'all where I filed the edges. Dang it. So I'm just going in with a sanding band and sanding around the cuticle area. You can use a sanding band because these did not use to seal the cuticles. Because I didn't use a lot of product or anything like that, I can just get all this done with the sanding band. And again, this is sped up, so I'm just going to be sanding around the cuticle area, sealing those cuticles. With the clear acrylic, it is kind of hard to see like what you've done. So you'll see me kind of move her hand around to make sure that I got a good amount of... What are you doing? Sorry, my dog is being crazy. To make sure I have no lumps and bumps in this nail. So I'm just going around. And when you do encapsulate, you want to make sure that you work in thin layers, because again, you do not want your nails bulky. You do want them to have an apex, but you do not want them bulky. So again, just go around the cuticle area. And then make sure not really, sometimes I do again go under, like when I was telling y'all to trying to pull off the acrylic and it doesn't work, making sure I have a little bit of a C curve and things like that. You don't want them to be too bulky. And so this is, it's not really like a lot of work or whatever. So it's just pretty much easy, just sand and things like that. You don't want to stay in one place too long, especially around the cuticle area, because you can cut your client. If y'all want, I can also do a video on how I prep my nails. So if y'all want, just let me know about that. But I just wanted to show y'all like the application and how I shape my nails. So, and it's all with practice. if you, yeah, remember I was telling you I couldn't get it off, so, you know, just go in there. I'm a little bit more mindful to spend more time on that area. It's fine. I kind of like to do this because at the end of it, I don't have any divots or anything like that with the nail, and I can just go in with the top coat after I've cleansed her nails. So guys, this is going to be the end of the video. After that, I've already top coated. So if you did like this video, please like and subscribe. And this is going to be the final product. Thanks for watching.